can't believe I'm filming this right now. Yeah, I don't really know how to intro this video off, to be honest with you, because this has just like been a dream of mine for so long, and to see it come true is kind of insane. Oh my god. What I had recorded last year when I told you guys I failed my Advanced 2 exam. If you don't remember that story, I talked about it very much in depth in that video, so you can go check that out. But I'm going to do a little recap for you guys who are new and maybe don't want to watch 2 videos. Last year I went into my exam. Great exam, loved the examiner, she was wonderful. She's given me very high scores in the past. She has given me my highest score in the Royal Academy of Dance examinations, and so I was so happy to have her last year because it just came full circle, and I had my favorite pianist, Miss Katya, playing for me as well, and so yeah, it was like the ideal situation, the ideal examiner, ideal pianist. The not so ideal part of that situation was actually just a few days before my pointe shoes had broken and I needed a new pair, and the pair that I was wearing at the time got discontinued. And so I was so nervous. I was like, crap, I have to find another pair of pointe shoes to wear. And I completely basically switched brands. Long story short, that pointe shoe broke the shank. Like, let me grab a pointe shoe and show you. So this is pointe shoe anatomy. So this is the pointe shoe. You have your shank, your inner shank, and your outer shank. You have your box, and you have the case of the shoe. And so the box is hard, like, well, these are actually a little bit softer because I've been wearing them, but the box is hard with glue. And this tip right here is what you stand on your toes at the tip, and this is what supports your, your foot. So this part of the box had broken on the shoe that I needed to wear, and I couldn't fouette, so I was like, I need a new pair of shoes, like, now. So this was the shoe I switched over to, but in that exam, basically in the inner part of the shank, if you can see in there, it broke right underneath the toes. So it didn't break here where, you can kind of just lift out of your foot and kind of deal with it. It broke underneath my toes. So basically on this part right here, but on the inside of the shank. So yeah, so that happened, and I couldn't dance on pointe because my shoe was broken. I couldn't get on my box. If I did, I would have rolled my ankle, etc. So last year I was determined to finish that exam off with the best quality of performance that I had ever given, and it was the best performance of my life. The score came back to be the highest exam. It came back to be the highest performance and musicality score I've ever had. Sadly, because of the fact I could not dance on pointe, the examiner had to fail me, because if you can't dance on pointe at an Advanced 2 level, that basically means that, not that you suck, because I didn't suck, but it means that you have bad technique or something happened, and she knew what happened. She asked me if I wanted to leave and go get my other pair of pointe shoes, but I didn't have an extra pair with me. So she had to fail me, very sadly, because I had some very beautiful scores last year. But, so I went back this year. I took my exam again for the second time, and I was determined to get a distinction. Mind you, I had taken so much time off. I was having some massive mental health issues. I was having some massive issues with my body. I just felt like I couldn't do it, and there were so many times where I'm like dragging my butt to class, and I just was like, I looked at my teachers and literally told them, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be doing this. I'm done. I don't want to be here right now. And so, of course, me being the, person that never gives up, I learned a lot of values in this year. And so through Mr. Pegler and Jana's coaching, and Jose's as well, I was able to pass my exam in the highest scoring bracket of the RAD. So basically the scores go like this. It's standard not attained, which is the first level, and then once you hit a 40, I believe it is pass. And to hit a merit, I believe you need a 64 or a 65, and then to get a distinction, which is the highest scoring bracket, you need a 75. I scored a 75, and even though the scores in certain areas weren't as nice, I am so happy to see the word distinction on that paper, because the year before I had a paper that said standard had not been attained. And to see that is like, especially in the situation I had, it sucks. Like, it sucks so bad. And it was just like, why? And so for me, I'm not looking at just this year's scores. I'm looking at last year's scores as well. So I know that's kind of like, like you're kind of mixing scores up. But in the overall picture, I get to look at the overall picture by having the scores of last year and this year. And I know that I struggled this year. I mean, I struggled really hard this year. And so I can say that this is me as a whole dancer, and I can take the best parts of last year and the best parts of this year, and I can mix it, and that's me. That's me as a dancer. Oh my god! I can't tell you how happy I am, and it's been a dream of mine from the very beginning, since I started taking exams back in 2009. 2009 was my first exam, and I took my exam in 2009. Holy crap. And now we're in 2018, and I've completed the Royal Academy of Dance examinations, and if I want to, I can take solo seal, and it's actually in my 5-year plan. If I pull out my 5-year plan right now, I could tell you the milestones that I've hit just this year alone. I mean, it's mind-blowing to me that I'm like, I can't say I've made it, because obviously I'm not in a company, but at the same time, I can say, holy cow, I made it. I made it to the end of an era. I'm on cloud 9 with it, and I am determined to work my butt off this year. I have an audition tape that I'm going to be filming in December to send off to the English National Ballet School, and that is located in London. So stay tuned to hear updates. I'm very, very, very excited. There's a lot of things in motion right now. I truly believe that the score I got speaks to who I am as a dancer, but also to my hard work. I got the score that I earned, and for me, I can say that with full confidence, because I know that if I had worked harder, I could have gotten a better score. And if I didn't work as hard as I did this past year to overcome so many obstacles and hurdles, I would never have gotten that distinction. I want to say thank you to Jana, who has been with me these past 12 years. 12, 13 years. It's crazy. It's, of course I'll be coming by your place all the time, and I'll still be needing your coaching and everything next year, but, dude, we made it. We made it. And to Mr. Pegler, your wisdom in both dance and life alike has been extremely valuable to me, and I have hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of footage, so we need to start that podcast. And then, of course, to Jose, thank you so much for your guidance this past year. I have had the pleasure of working with you. I can't wait to work with you again in the fall. My parents, thank you for everything. Thank you for pouring your souls out to me, and for putting in the finances into my dreams, and for putting all the emotion into my dreams, and for taking me back and forth to ballet for I don't even know how many hours now. I mean, it's ridiculous. I probably would not be dancing if it wasn't for you guys. I also want to say thank you to my younger siblings because my little brother has complained frequently about how often we have to drive to ballet. So thank you guys for all your endurance in my training. And also I want to say thank you to Eric, Jessica, and Rhonda. They're my big brother, my big sisters, and you guys, if it was not for you, for the rides, the babysitting, like everything, I would not be able to do what I love. I also want to say thank you to my mentor, Kelly, because she mentors me in all areas of life. She helps me through everything I'm going through, and without Kelly, I really would not be able to persevere through pretty much anything. My life is crazy and she helps me through every aspect of it, including dance, and she knows nothing about dance and she thinks it's weird that men dress up in tights and and go dancing off in tights, and you know, she doesn't always understand it, but she's always there for me as my biggest support, and so thank you. I want to thank Los Angeles Ballet Academy for everything you guys have offered to me. Miss Andrea, Eker, Miss Nicolette, Miss Roxana, Mr. Pegler, Mr. Correal, all of you, my friends, my bestest friends over at LABA, Gabriel Ramirez, Gabriel Salazar, Brandon Forrest, my partners. They have been the most excellent partners I could ever ask for. And then I want to thank Revolution Ballet Academy. I want to thank Kathy Linker, Jana Kirks, Sean Kirks, and I also want to thank Philip Fernandez, my first ever partner. I would never have gotten into partnering if it wasn't for him, and I never would have gotten comfortable if it wasn't for him. And so, Phil, I love you. Sean and Jana, obviously, Jana for teaching, Sean for letting me crash at your guys' place like every day, and like going over, and I know I'm annoying sometimes, so thanks for putting up with me. And to Miss Kathy for all your support and all your hard work on every costume that I have ever had. This one right here was made by Miss Kathy, and I will treasure it forever because not only is it so beautiful, but it's a piece of, it feels like a piece of her that I get to carry with me throughout my career. So thank you for that, because that is truly a gift. So yeah, this has been kind of a long talk through video, but I love you guys so much. Thank you for coming along this journey with me for the past few years. It's not over, definitely not over. This may be the end of the Royal Academy of Dance era, but this is certainly not over, so I can't wait to share more adventures with you and hit more milestones with you guys. Thank you so much for your guys' support and your guys' love. All my love.